And I think the reason why a lot of people like watching the videos is that I talk about the topics in a way that's, I think, fair to the topic rather than fair to a certain side. If I have people thinking that I'm a Jewish operative, and also if I have people calling me Asmon Goldstein and also calling me Asmon Nazi, I think I'm doing the right thing. Because I am mauling over two opposite groups of fucking retards. And if I'm making both groups of those retards mad, it means I'm probably being normal. Anyway, let's move on.
As more Tesla vehicles are getting randomly keyed in the streets, and even getting hit with dog excrement, the left is going nuts.
I hate them! I hate them! I need them off the streets! I need them off the road! I need them on the highway! I need them out of my town! I need them out of my country!
Now, I'm not going to say the name and the race of the doctor.
I'm so sick of them! I'm so sick of Tesla trucks! Cybertrucks!
And like most liberals that are this emotional, I don't believe she can articulate a single reason she dislikes Cybertrucks beyond the few NPC talking points she saw on social media.
Of course.
Like this lady who is king an electric vehicle, but it's not a Tesla, it's a Rivian. You know, that other electric car company that's largely owned by Volkswagen, notoriously known for being the manufacturer backed by Hitler. Now, I would say it's ironic that these liberals are allegedly fighting fascism by supporting Volkswagen, but it's actually on brand for them. As in New York City, this guy carved a Nazi.
Yes. How do you fight Nazis? You paint swastikas onto Jewish people's cars. I didn't think so either. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Symbol into a vehicle, only for the owner to be of that group, demanding hate crime enhancements. As he's left his
They should. It's disgusting.
idiots are proudly standing behind that symbol, portraying Elon as a rodent, just like the group they're allegedly against. They've literally become everything they claim to hate.
Wait, they're calling him a rat? Truth is stranger than fiction, man. This is crazy. Oh my god.
But they're too stupid to realize vandalizing random vehicles and waving around Nazi symbols in allegiance with a political party makes them unquestionably the bad guys. But intelligence isn't their strong point, and now they're finally finding out. As these useful idiots are now—
No, they're the good guys because they'll like post a picture of like a comic book character that says something that sounds like it aligns with their viewpoint. And they'll be like, well, if you look at this cartoon, the cartoon says that me keying the car was the right decision.
Keying vehicles at the Dallas airport in Texas, even causing thousands of dollars of damages at the Ontario airports in California. And as of today, the Attorney General is now classifying these acts of vandalism as domestic terror, where they're facing—
because they are. It is. So I don't agree with your pathetic points here at all about Elon, XQC, or Trump. Yeah, no, here's the thing. That's fine. You don't have to agree with them. Just don't go key the cars, okay? It's pretty simple. Just don't go key cars. Don't go destroying other people's property because you dislike the people that made the car. Like, nobody cares what your opinion is. It doesn't matter. Just keep it to your fucking self. Just don't set a car on fire. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty easy. I've never accidentally set a car on fire. I almost did, but no.
20 years in prison. And how easy is it going to be at an airport of all places to retrace these idiots to arrival or departures to their boarding pass that's attached to their IDs, so Kash Patel or Dan Bongino can send their guys to go arrest them. And it's already happening with local authorities, where this guy keyed a Nazi symbol into this Tesla, but it was outside a Crunch Fitness.
This is the most pathetic. This is the most pathetic swastika I've ever seen in my entire life. You know how bad it is? This is how you know it's fucking garbage. Is that Decoy Voice, the guy making the video, didn't even blur it out. It didn't even get blurred out. Like, it's not even like, it's not even, it doesn't even register as swastika.
Who immediately recognized him as a member and identified him for law enforcement. They quickly went out and arrested that idiot for criminal mischief, which is a felony in Colorado, where he faces a 1.5 years in prison.
Wow.
And this was 2 days before the Attorney General reclassified these crimes. And in San Jose, California, this NPC keyed a Tesla. But after the video went viral, someone else believes they found the guy.
Did you just key a Tesla
It's
the
the
other
guy.
day? What? You're on video.
What?
And the local police were able to arrest the vandal within 24 hours, charging him with a felony. It's almost like keying a vehicle surrounded by cameras is a bad idea. But if you're willing to commit a felony based on what you saw on social media, I don't think intelligence is one of your best attributes. Now, leftist Reddit is crying about the jailing of Tesla protesters.
What is this here? What's it called? Eternally uncool. What is this? Pam Bondi brutally mocked after threatening to jail Tesla protesters. Brutally mocked? What do you mean brutally mocked? By a bunch of, like, retarded Redditors? Nobody thinks this is... Yeah, it's nuts. Do you realize you MAGA idiots were doing the same shit? When were the MAGA idiots going out and destroying people's cars? When were they doing that? A couple years ago, and you have plenty of videos shoving it? Really? I don't remember that at all. Yeah, I don't remember a single... I don't remember... I'm sure that there's been people that have set cars on fire in the past 2 years. Sure, but to say that they're MAGA people... Well, I don't know about that. There's no example of this at all. The reason why you don't have an example of it is because it didn't happen. When people protested Bud Light... They bought Bud Light and then they shot their own copies of their own cans of Bud Light. They didn't go to the liquor store with a shotgun and then shoot up the Bud Light section. That's not what happened. I think that you might be confusing BLM with MAGA. I think that's probably what happened because they burned down a lot of cars. But no, MAGA people, they had January 6th, and that was bad. But besides that, no, not really that many of them. People like Kid Rock hates Bud Light. He shoots them all the time. Yeah, after he buys them. If somebody buys a Tesla and they destroy their Tesla, nobody cares about that. That's not a problem at all. Nobody cares.
Trying to compare this to boycotting...
So patriotic to Bud Light for having a trans person, but illegal to boycott Tesla? It's crazy how something that's so dishonest and so stupid can get upvoted so much. As if it's the same thing from choosing not to buy something versus setting it on fire. This is Reddit brain. Yeah, these people are actually retards. It's embarrassing.
Light and the incineration of Teslas over their CEO. But no,
Yep.
the left-wing media still calls these protests.
Just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
It's the latest.
Just to be clear, no, not really. What news station was this on? It was on MSNBC. Okay. Well, there you go. It's just, this is not a protest. I can't wait until, like, actually, I don't even want to say that. I don't want this to happen, but I do think that it will happen, that these people will have this reversed on them. And I think it will be very bad. Like, I was going to say, like, oh, I can't wait till this happens. The fact is that it will be awful when this happens. The same as it's awful when it's happening to people that own Teslas. The fact is, though, is that eventually it will happen. And there will be a backlash to this. And these people will be individually attacked in the same way that Tesla owners are individually attacked. And there will be nobody out there that has any sympathy for them at all. It's the eye for an eye makes makes the whole world blind, right? Like, that's basically, we are in like stage 2 of that process. You reap what you sow? Yeah, basically.
It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
Earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
I forgot who said it recently, but they claimed all these liberal late-night comedy shows have just become clan meetings for the left, and it sounds like an
That's a good way to say it.
overgeneralization, but after seeing that clip, I'm having a hard time refuting it, as even the host calls them out for cheering on acts of domestic tea, but that's exactly what it is. I know a YouTuber that largely built her audience from buying and reviewing Teslas, and it really seems like she has to denounce Elon every time she references the car now, because if she didn't, her liberal audience would leave her. And even me, I own a Tesla and I love it, but I have friends that want to go catch a Kings game at the Staples Center, or the Crypto Arena as it's now called in downtown LA. But I've always
Crypto
parked at this
Arena.
little hidden spot that dodges all the traffic coming into and leaving the games. But it's in a very shady lot, so I'm definitely not gonna take my Tesla there, which just goes to show what the extreme left is doing is working. They want people to be afraid to affiliate with them, and they want people to be afraid to drive them, all for fear of what the left...
He's exactly right. This is what that's the goal of the protests. And it's terrorism. Is that domestic terror 4 years ago? Yeah, well, of course, right? People are so stupid. No one is losing on the cars burning except the insurance companies and those caught burning them. This is another comment that's made by the person that is either or has the mind of a child. I think that you really underestimate. So, like, if let's say that your argument is accurate and the car gets burned down and you now have the money from the insurance company that will buy you a new car. Okay, well, this doesn't happen overnight. So you have to file a police report. You have to talk to the insurance company. You have to go and buy a new car, which means that you have to do research on that new car. You also have to buy a car that is at least an equivalent amount of the price. And usually most insurance companies probably give you an amortized value of the car. So you're not really getting the MSRP of the car that you originally purchased, which is normal for like a used car, but still it is a forced action. And so maybe you'd have to add in your own money as well. And then there's also the emotional damage of having your car destroyed and the fact that that's very scary and upsetting. And before you say that's not real, if somebody burned down your car, I think that would be upsetting for you. And, I feel like it would be for a lot of people. And this is also not counting the amount of time and money that costs to have the police and like the fire department that comes in and they have to put out the fire. Then you have the effect that if the insurance company is paying out, let's say $30,000, $20,000, that makes everybody else's premiums go up. And so now everybody else collectively has to spend more money because of this destruction of property. And then you also have police time that's being invested into figuring out who committed the crime and then putting that person. And let's assume they catch the person. Well, then you have a court date for that person that then the person whose car burned down may have to appear at that court date. And then you have to sentence the person, which is the court time and court money. And then you have potentially paying for jail time for this individual, which is also maybe a court-appointed lawyer, which is something else. And so you really take a problem and you multiply it into theoretically millions of dollars. And the problem that a lot of people like this have is that they never understand the effects of their behavior. They only look at it in a very one-dimensional, childlike viewpoint where they're imagining themselves having the right opinion, saying the right thing, and then doing the right thing that makes them the right person. But they never think about it beyond the scope of this very, very narrow, one-dimensional experience. Insurance rarely covers vandalism, by the way. Well, again, that's all beside the point. We'll assume that he was totally right. And so, don't perma, though? There's no reason to have a person like that in chat. They're just stupid. Like, can you imagine anything, any contribution a person like that could have into chat that would be positive? I can't. Did that deserve a ban? Yeah. If somebody, like, I ban people all the time just for being stupid. Like, if I read a comment in chat that's, like, weird or stupid, I just permaban them. I do. Now, even if I don't even really disagree with them, I'm like, that's weird. I'm going to ban you. Yeah, straight up. That's what I do. I ban people like crazy. And anybody that acts or says weird stuff, downplays terrorism, literally doesn't grasp reality. Nobody needs them. Yeah, exactly. And so, delete all that followed search for January. Well, a lot of them did get deleted, right? And so it's very, very weird. What about free thought? They can freely think, but I just don't want them to they can think that it's about typing. That's the problem. It's the typing the message and pressing enter. They can even type the message. They just don't press enter. Yeah, I'm not really interested in the opinions of people that are stupid. If I feel like a person's like decision-making like abilities are compromised and I think that they're stupid, I immediately don't care about anything that they're saying. It's basically like a dog barking. And so if I decide that about somebody, that's pretty much the end of it. Like, I don't really care one way or another or whatever. It's lack of thinking. Yeah. Why would I even think about this for a second? Anyway, insurance does not pay out on terrorist acts. Listen, my point is that even if it did, it's still a stupid argument.
Will do to them, as even their political leaders are gloating about it.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
No, I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comment.
What I thought was really funny about that is that he actually had to walk this back, and because it was so bad. Basically, somebody let him know that his company's his state's like 401k program or investment program was like involved with Tesla. So like he's the state pension. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. So the state pension was invested in Tesla. So basically this guy is celebrating the government workers that he's representing, their pension going down.
This guy bugs me in a way that is probably unhealthy. And But I have to be careful about being a smartass. I was making a joke. These people have no sense of humor. They are the most literal people. But my point was they're all.
It wasn't a joke. You weren't a joke. Like what's funny about Tesla stock dropping? Like, I mean, if somebody made a joke about a trans person or a gay person or a woman or any other protected group, suddenly I guarantee you this guy would be talking about how bad it is and he'd be moralizing about it. Like Trump makes a joke and it's at the expense of a group of people that are, in some way disadvantaged. This guy would be the first one tweeting about it saying it's bad. It's just bullshit. It's bullshit. And nobody cares whether it's a joke or not. And and by the way, we used to care and give people the benefit of the doubt for like, oh, well, you're just joking around. You're not really meaning this. But the moment that people started losing their jobs and getting deplatformed for telling jokes that were politically incorrect, that time is over now. And so like you can't start this, you can't create a world where you get deplatformed for telling a bad joke and then expect that you can tell a bad joke and be like, wow, people have no sense of humor. Yeah, neither did you for 10 years when you were deplatforming people for telling jokes. Bad faith argument. Joking by punching up is one thing. Punching down is another. Why is it okay to joke from punching up? Is there a reason why it's okay to joke from punching up? What's your moral argument that it's okay to degrade somebody based off of an immutable characteristic or joking? Why is that okay? Can you explain that to me? No one is degrading Elon by making fun of his stock. Tesla's stock going down is by the way of Elon's decision. That's on him. That's like celebrating a country getting bombed and then making jokes about it and then saying, well, I'm not celebrating the people that are being killed. I'm celebrating the government experiencing the bad decisions of itself. And if you did that, you'd be an asshole. Yeah, this is a 0 IQ comment. It's like the same as Johnny Somali goes to Japan and he's spamming Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Like, he's clearly not the dominant race there. Japan and Japanese people are clearly above him as a random foreigner. But he's still the asshole when he's running around spamming that. It's very simple. If you find yourself being part of the group that is figuring out excuses for why it's okay to treat certain people with a higher level of disrespect or disregard than other people, you're probably the bad guy. And you're probably doing a bad thing. If you're trying to figure out reasons why it's okay for you to mistreat one group of people, but it's not okay for you to mistreat another, you're making my point? You're punching down by saying something like that? That would be punching down, and yeah, that's bad. Punching down and punching up is irrelevant, and it's all a matter of perspective. The idea that you can only punch up at people, all that gives people the ability to do is figure out reasons why other people are above them. There's no justification for why you should be able to degrade somebody because you've decided that they're in a better situation than you are. There's no justification or logic or ethical or moral reason for this at all. There's no foundation for it. There's no justification. There's no rationality to it. There's no logic to it at all. This is an emotional argument that's made by people that are resentful of people who are in positions that they deem to be enviable. And so they think because this person is in a position that's enviable, now it's okay to mistreat them and to do bad things. You should not punch down. You should not punch up. But you should punch back. This is a disgusting retard comment. This is, yeah, it's not irrelevant. It's very common comedy philosophy. Yeah, it's a very common comedy philosophy by retards. And also, by the way, no, it's not. Dave Chappelle makes jokes about all kinds of people. He makes jokes, and so did George Carlin, so did everybody. And this entire, it's comedy philosophy. It's not. Yeah, same as South Park. Yeah, it's not even what's happening at all. Good comedians punch everyone. Exactly. And so when you disagree with them on the smallest amount of things, long-standing relationships, because they're radicalized. That's the reason why. But I just want you guys to see, why are we suddenly caring about other people's opinions and feelings? Because so there's two things that you can do, right? You can be on the moral side, or you can be aggressive and aggressive and like bad, right? So like if you want to be an asshole, you can be an asshole. But I fucking hate people that are assholes that pretend like they're not assholes. And they come up with these mental gymnastics for why it's okay for me to mistreat you, but it's not okay for you to mistreat me. That's the problem. If you want to be a piece of shit, be a piece of shit. But don't go and act like you're doing it and there's any sort of like moral superiority or moral high ground for it. You're being a piece of shit, and that's it. You act more honest? Yeah, it's obnoxious. Do you think Johnny Somali knew he was an asshole? Yeah, I think so. Isn't that just your emotional response? The crime is still the same, rationally speaking. Well, yeah, it's bad, but we're not talking about a crime. We're talking about somebody who's saying something that's disagreeable. And I'm either I'm deciding, like, is this opinion a valid opinion or not?
And I, said something I didn't, probably shouldn't have about a company. He is agreed. So
what did she say
about a company? He is.
I don't know what she said. I have no idea.
Agreed. So I make the case. They're all butthurt about the Tesla thing, but they don't care the disrespect they have shown to employees at the Minneapolis VA who care for our veterans, and they fire them. They don't care. So we will have the conversation.
I mean, if Republicans set the VA on fire, I'd say that's bad. Yeah, like, so if Republicans went and they set the VA, I think that would be really bad. Now, of course, that's not happening.
About efficiency in government and about doing that. But none of us believe for a second they're thinking about this.
Of course it is.
Oh, we fired everybody that's dealing with Ebola. And then he went into the Oval Office wearing a hat. I don't ever want to hear anybody talk about decorum and respect or that. Wearing a hat, coming in there, richest man in the world. Again, this maybe is just me. If I'm the richest man in the world, I'm like out on the streets handing out the money. It'd be fun as hell just to help people out. Go help people out. Not this guy. Not this guy.
So even he acknowledged that it was stupid for him to have said that. Even he did. No, you wouldn't? I don't know. Is Tim Walz sponsored by Mountain Dew? I don't know. I think he's as a vet for Voice of VA. Some of the vets that work at the VA are some of the laziest, entitled shits I've ever heard. I don't know. Where's Governor with that? When did he start caring about our buildings? I don't know. Yeah, who falls for this? A bunch of upper middle class people that think that they're better than everybody else who disagrees with them morally, and so they think that it's okay for them because they're punching up. It's okay. Let's punch up. And by the way, punching up. The logic of that is so silly because when cars are being destroyed by people that are setting them on fire, you don't even know whose car you're burning. So how do you even know that you're punching up to begin with? The person that you're burning their car, they could be living in their car. They might not even be able to have a house. And now you just effectively set it on fire. It's like the logic for this is just it instantaneously evaporates the moment that you apply any critical thinking to it at all. It's complete emotional messaging at all. A Tesla house? Yeah. There's people that live in their cars. Absolutely, there are people that live in their cars, for sure.
About the Tesla stock, he says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in his state.
I think that really goes to show what he really would do if he had the control of money. Because if he's controlling, like basically he's saying this and he's celebrating everybody's pension fund going down. You ask, if I had a bunch of money, what would I do with it? Well, you just made people less money. That's what you'd really do. That's what you did.
He literally doesn't mind sacrificing the pensions of his own citizens as long as he can get a win over Elon Musk. And that's just the common theme we see with the modern day Democrats. Whether it's the useful idiots going to prison for vandalizing Teslas, a few female athletes losing their scholarships in the name of inclusion, or the victims of horrendous crimes due to their unwillingness to enforce the border. They are completely comfortable in sacrificing their people, all in the name of preserving their political agenda. And even though
they're not, they're always, and you see this, right? This is like a group of people, like you look at this Tim Walz rally, and it is like 99% white people that are constantly talking about how much they love diversity. I see that. Right. Okay, for sure. Okay. Yeah, and this is the thing. It's again, it's just virtue signaling. It's so transparently virtue signaling. It's embarrassing.
Oh, it sounds outlandish to say that. You cannot find a single Democrat politician telling their constituents, hey, don't vandalize these Teslas. The Trump administration is reclassifying these crimes and you could do some serious time. No, they want their base to be angry and emotional, because the second they become level-headed and rational, they just might start to question, wait, why is Doge finding government waste a bad thing? Because at this point, critical thinking is antithetical to liberalism. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how college campuses are finally getting red-pilled.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen a lot. And I think it's especially true, by the way, it's especially true with, what do you call it? With college campuses and with young men. And I actually saw a graph. This is a really great video. As I said, I think that the Tesla attacks, like, I view anybody who's like trying to play defense and justify any type of this bad behavior, this person is now, like, if anything bad ever happens to this person, I'm not really going to care that much. Honestly, I'm not. And I think that there will be a reciprocation from this. And there will be backlash from this. And it will be bad. It's karma. Yes, exactly. And it's bad. There's no defensive criminal behavior. Yeah, anyone justifying this are retards. It is. Yeah, violence is violence. It's just that simple. And there's really nothing else to say about it besides that.